It's about that time of day again here, boys and girls. Welcome back, welcome back. Newsletter time. JJ here, School of Trade. SidewaysMarkets.com is our blog address. Welcome to your nightly newsletter. It is November 5th, 2014. It's a hump day here in our live trade room today. Traded through inventories today. We had an incredible day. What a reaction to last night's U.S. election. Boy, if you've been living under a rock the past 24 hours, right, you're unaware of the fact, right, that we had this big election last night. Markets clearly reacting well to that today. A little bit sloppy at times today, but overall a very, very good day. Boy, we got crude pushing higher. We got gold pushing lower. Russell is right there. Russell is right there. I couldn't quite put my finger on it today why the Russell traders were waiting here today, but again, they're right there ready to start buying. I can't wait to break open some charts here for you guys and bust open this nightly newsletter. First things first, though, before we jump into our charts here tonight, I want to remind you guys, make sure you are watching this video over here on our blog at SidewaysMarkets.com. Get over to SidewaysMarkets.com if you're not watching this video right now on our blog. If you're on our YouTube page, there's a link below the YouTube video. That'll take you over here to our blog. There are 3 reasons why I want you guys over here at Sideways Markets tonight. Reason number 1, you can download all of my charts every evening. Every chart that I put up here today, you can download those charts and you can use them in your own trading day tomorrow or this evening. Click the link below the video tonight and you can download all of my charts right below today's video. That way you're prepared right along with me tomorrow. Second thing here, upper left-hand corner. You might be wondering what it feels like to be in our trade room every day. You know, we use these levels that we put up on our newsletter. We use these as our roadmap for the following day. So come out and see me tomorrow in our live trade room. I have a free pass for anyone who's not a member of School of Trade and is curious to see what it feels like to be inside of our trade room. Grab your free pass, upper left-hand corner. And then the third thing, yep, there's 3 things here. Right above my ugly mug, you'll see a spot for your name and your email address. That's right, we have a newsletter list, a nightly newsletter mailing list. If you'd like to be reminded about the newsletter every evening, I'm going to send you an email every evening when we send out our nightly newsletter. That way you know exactly, right, when it's ready and you can participate right along with me. So 3 things on our blog tonight. First, download the charts for today. You can download all those charts right below the video. Second thing, grab your free pass, upper left-hand corner. And third thing, register for your nightly newsletter mailing list. Now, if you register for the mailing list or you grab your free pass, I'm going to send you a verification email to make sure that you get my email, first of all, and also to make sure that you're not a robot. So make sure you check your email after you register. Ready to rock and roll? I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's jump right in here to the mighty mini Russell. Now, we've been watching this Russell, my favorite of the E-minis. This is the small cap stocks in the U.S. Just enough liquidity to make it tradable, not too much liquidity like the S&P, right? You know what I'm talking about? So Russell's a great market for a new trader. It's a $10 per tick market. You can get away with only about $500 for daytime margins. It's fully electronic on the Intercontinental Exchange, so it's got cheap commissions. It's really a great market for a new trader, right? I really like the Russell compared to the Dow, the NASDAQ, which are $5 per tick, and the S&P, which is $12.50 per tick. It's just a great happy medium. So we look at the Russell, we can clearly see that our trend right now is bullish. And we have 3 steps to success here at School of Trade. The first step is we're going to find the trend. The second step, we're going to find the trade setup. And the third step is we're going to find the entry trigger. What's my trend, right? We'll go after the first step first. What's my trend? Well, I can see I have higher highs, higher lows. I've got green moving average clouds. We're above all the key moving average. It's pretty easy to see we are bullish. Now, if you didn't know all of that, I have some handy dandy indicators here in the upper left-hand corner. And you know, indicators don't make us successful. What they do is they make it easier for us to be successful, right? No indicator in the world will make you successful by itself, but when you put it together with a quality trading strategy, the discipline to follow the plan, right? You know how that works. So we know that we got some indicators to make our job easy on this. We can easily see, though, we're bullish right now. So with a bullish trend, I want to find a trade setup that has me buying right now. So look on this chart and let's see, where do we have a trade setup? Now, what exactly is a trade setup? A trade setup tells me with that trend, which we know is bullish, going in the direction of the trend, a setup is where I want to really be paying close attention to a good buying opportunity in this case, right? So bullish trend, the setups are going to be where we get the best buying opportunities. And we have, well, we've got 3 different setups right at 53.7. I have symmetry, first of all. I have a reversal line, and we have a trigger zone. Now, boy, if you want to go even one step further, if you go just a little bit below it, you'll see this trend line that we drew up the side here, right? So members, you could call this literally a bank robber setup. We have a setup called the bank robber, and the bank robber setup, I know, pardon the term, right? Stick 'em up, give me your ticks. But the bank robber setup combines 4 of our other trade setups, right? So 4 of them combined together. Right now, we've got symmetry, trigger zone, reversal line, and channel. So that's 4 different trade setups. That's why I've been talking about this all week, saying all we need to do is just pull back into this area, and then, man, we've got some great buying opportunities coming our way. Now, of course, I can see we had a short-term channel. We broke that channel. Right? We should be making a retest here of this high. We just had a landslide election last night. That's why I'm kind of scratching my head going, huh? Why didn't we at least go back to the highs here? So we're looking very bullish right now. These buyers need to react soon. If they don't react soon here, if we don't get a new higher high, right? Basically, we go higher here, new higher high, I'm then looking to buy pullbacks at the next buy setup. But I'd really like to get it to pull back a little bit further. Get me into this 53.7, 53.9 area, and then we are off to the races back towards 1200. Buy zones are waiting for me below. All I need is these buyers to come play ball with me right now. Now, we dig in a little bit closer here right now, and now we can see a little bit more about why these buyers are having some trouble. You can easily see we're trading sideways. You can easily see that we are pretty much trading inside of this, what I'll call a triangle or a wedge or a pennant, whatever you want to call it here. But we can definitely see, though, that couple things in this chart. First of all, we can see there's that. Nope, it's right down here. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to blind you on that, guys. Sorry. You been drinking today, son? Nope. There we go. There's my 53.9, right? So it's right about there, right? That's that key level off that 32. So you can see we've got some room to go lower right now, right? We've definitely got some room to go lower before we go higher. So don't forget that off the 32 anchor chart. What I see on this chart, though, is I see that we have this wedge getting very, very narrow, right? It's starting to get down to that nitty-gritty here, guys. And so you know what happens, right? Once we get down to this narrow point at the end of this consolidated range, think of it like a jack-in-the-box, right? Bam, right? Something's gonna happen, okay? So big clues today. We're definitely bullish right now. Whether you're talking technicals, fundamentals, everything here is on the buy side right now. The fact that we didn't take off today tells me that either A, these buyers aren't as bullish as we think they are, and we'll see that reflected tomorrow. If we go lower, try to react at that buy zone and keep going lower. So this may be a sign that all the bulls are going to be quickly running out of steam, right? What we expected to happen today didn't exactly happen. We're still going to err on the side of the buy side right now, and we're going to be coming down to the nitty-gritty here very, very soon. If we don't break out of this range tomorrow, keep buying those lows. As you can see here, we've had nothing but easy money to make off this week, and this has been the same thing all week. Buy the low there, buy the low there, buy the low here. I gave you guys targets overhead. We hit that target twice today. So easy money inside this range. Buy those lows. Keep waiting to buy. If we go higher, give me a new higher high, and then again, I'm back to buying again. If we go lower, perfect. That's exactly where we want to be, right? We want to get down to that 53.9 area. That's exactly where we want to be here. So we may go lower before we go higher. But again, watch for tomorrow. Watch for tomorrow. Clearly here, they're waiting on something right now. Next up, moving from the Russell here down to that funny yellow metal they call gold futures. Now again, no surprise here. We came in this morning, the first thing we talked about today in our trade room was the reaction to the election. Buy crude, buy equities, sell gold, right? It was almost as easy. It was easy, right? It was easy knowing direction. Price action was a little bit sloppy because of it, right? Because of the election results last night, but all the same though. What's my trend right now on gold? Trend is clearly down. With this downtrend on gold right now, what am I looking for? Remember those 3 steps to success. Step number 1, find my trend. Step number 2, find my setup. Step number 3, find the entry trigger. Okay, what's my trend? Trend is down. Very easy to see that. I've got those red bars in the upper left-hand corner, right? Indicator tells me we're bearish. I've got red clouds, lower lows, lower highs. We're below all the key moving averages. Easy peasy. It's definitely downward trending. So now the next step is find the sell setup. Where do we look for the sell setup? Well, looking above here, I've got a double top set up at 52.4. I have a trigger zone set up at 56.1. I have a reversal line set up at 1160.5. I have a trigger zone number 2 set up at 1166.9. I have another double top set up at 1175 and 1183.3. So as we go higher, I will be looking to sell. As we go higher, I'm looking to sell. And I'm going to use the levels below 37.1, low of the channel. And of course, we can't forget about an extension target at 14.7. So we got plenty of options above us right now to be a seller. And we've got some well-defined targets for you using, again, the low of this channel, right? That is a channel that we use here, right? Up to the highs, right? There's your channel. So I'm going to use the low of that channel. I'm going to use an extension target at 14.7. Now, what's the third step, right? There's 3 steps. Find the trend, find the setup. The third step is to find the trigger. Where do we get the trigger? Well, we won't know that information until we get up into our setup area. Once we get up into that setup area, then we look for the entry pattern trigger on the way down. Now, where can you learn more about the entry pattern triggers? Log into your membership account with School of Trade. It's in the intermediate course. If you're a member of mine, just come out and see me tomorrow morning, and I'll show you exactly where we're going to be looking for those entry triggers. It's that easy. So you don't need to go at this by yourself, right? You shouldn't do this by yourself. Much easier to benefit, right, from the experience of a coach. We move from the 32 anchor now down to the 16, and we immediately begin to see that this range is starting to get a little bit consolidated. Now, we go back to the 32, and we can see, right, get this big move down, and now we're starting to get a little bit range bound here, and it looks like maybe we have a little bit of a triangle, right, a little bit of consolidation. Now, this is perfectly natural, guys. It is perfectly natural for a market to make a large move after an external stimulus, right? Like a natural disaster, a hurricane, or a political event, an election, okay, or major economic news, FOMC announcement, non-farm payrolls, right? It's very, very common for a market to make a strong move lower, and then you've got some bargain hunting coming into the lows. The bears are still bears, but they're not as bearish, and we start to get this narrowing of price action, okay? No surprise here at all. So now that we have this narrowing of price action, how do we trade this? What's my trend, by the way? Remember what those 3 steps are. Step number 1, trend. Step number 2, setup. Step number 3, entry trigger. What's my trend? Trend is down. Again, upper left-hand corner, I've got some indicators that tell me trend is down. I can look at the color of the clouds, right? They're both red. I'm below the key moving averages. So we're very much aware we are in a downtrend. Got that done. Now, how do I sell? Where do I sell? Where do I participate in a downtrend? I sell at resistance. I sell at a premium, right? Whether you're selling gold contracts or whether you're selling gold coins. I don't want to sell at the lows. Would you sell your gold coin collection at the lows of the market? No, you'd rather wait to sell your gold coins at the high of the market, right? When prices are at their highest. Whether you're selling gold, selling real estate, right? Selling futures, it doesn't matter. It's called smart business. So we look for a sell setup at the highs of the range. Where do I have those? 49.6. That is a wedge setup. Now, we teach our students over a dozen different trade setups. That's one of them. Price wedge setup. Double top setup, 52.5. Trigger zone number 2. Trigger zone number 2, 1155.3. And then, of course, reversal line setup, 60.5, right? So we're looking to sell as this price goes higher. But Joe, what if price goes lower? What if it just keeps on chugging? Well, if it makes a new lower low, if we get a new lower low, and if we stay below that low, what you'll typically see happen is you'll typically see it make a lower low, but then sneak right back above that 37.1, and then do not sell that right there. That's a great bear trap. That is a great spot to lose your money, right? So don't make that mistake that I just illustrated right there. What I would recommend you do is wait for it to break the low. Make sure you sell it below that low, right? Don't let those buyers get that back above that 37.1. So we've got ourselves ready to rock. We know if price goes higher, I'm ready to sell. If price goes lower, got to be really careful around these lows. Get it below that low and look for that short still below that low. Okay, don't make that critical mistake, because you know what happens if you go lower, you get back up. Now you're not selling, well, now you're selling, but you're selling into support, right? And that's not what we're looking for. Okay, that stuff happens all the time where we get a one little candlestick low. It traps in all the sellers, and guys like me are watching that reversal, and I'll go ahead and I'll buy that for a short-term reversal back in, knowing that it's catching everyone off guard. Okay? Ready to rock and roll there on gold for tomorrow. So selling here on gold, buying here on Russell. How about that crude? How about that crude? Now, again, today was a relatively easy day as far as where do you think we're going to go, right? They give the control back to the Republicans. It's assumed that the general public will assume that means more easy money, whatever the kind of stereotype, right, of a Republican-controlled House and Senate. Whatever your opinion is of that, it was relatively simple today to come in and go, oh, this is going to be easy. Buy crude, right? And that's exactly what we did. I was a little bit surprised that we didn't get back all the way to that 79.44. I gave you guys a target there at 79.13 or something like that last night. We got that target filled, right? So we did go all the way up to that 79.13 target I gave you guys last night, right? So that was a nice big fat profit target for you off the buy. And you can see here, we clearly got a boost from the election, but we are not bullish, as far as I'm concerned, until we get above and stay above that 79.44. Now think about it. This is exactly what I just described to you on gold. Right? Remember what I said earlier. Break below that low. Make sure you sell it below that low. Because if we get back above that low again, if we get back above that key resistance level again, now we're free to go higher here now. All right? I call it the trend life cycle, right? I call it trend life cycle. As we're going lower, we mark up a major swing high. Price can do all it wants inside of this range. I don't care about it. It can even break up and come right back in. Still not bullish. What I need is I need price to break up, pull back, and then continue, then I'm bullish. I'm not going to call this a bullish market until we literally break and then stay above. So right now, we are right about here, right? We're just kind of flirting with that, in this case, 79.44, right? So 79.44, that is my line in the sand right now. If I can get above it, pull back, and stay above it, we will most likely get back to that 82.88, right? That next major level overhead. So let's plan this out here right now. I am still bearish on crude. So I have to remember my job right now is to look for selling opportunities. Remember to trade what you see, not what you think. So tomorrow morning, or possibly overnight, we have sell zones, right? Sell setups. I've got a trigger zone here at 79.36. I have a reversal line at 79.44, right? Those are both areas to sell. So sell the 79.44, sell the 79.36, selling the 81.37, right? So as we go higher, right, we may just jump up here. We may jump up nice and quickly. I'll look for a short right back down. Because remember, we are not bullish until we go up, pull back, and then stay going higher. So selling this 81.37, if it just jumps up, is a great trade. Now, you could, of course, go ahead and buy it as it pulls back here. But again, you're predicting a little bit. You're going a little bit too far ahead of time here. So if it jumps up here, again, looking for selling opportunities at the areas above. Right? If it does jump up, pull back, and stay above, now we become very, very bullish if we stay above that 79.44. Capiche? What if price goes lower? What if price goes lower? If price goes lower, you may want to nibble on some buys right here, right? You get a buy right there. I am still expecting this price to get to that 79.44, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense that we didn't get there. So I think we're still, and again, I'm not going to trade my gut reaction on this. I trade what I see. But my gut tells me we get at least to that 79.44 here, either overnight or early tomorrow morning, and then we'll be watching to see what happens from there, right? We should return back to where we came from here pre-election, right? That's where we should end up here again. Once the honeymoon, kind of is over there on this election result. But again, I might be wrong. So if we go lower and we just torch, right, through this first zone, I'm looking for sells, right? Now, I've got targets below me for shorts, right? So if you're getting short here on crude, I'll use these buy zones as targets, okay? Because right now, the only scenario where I start buying again is where we go up, pull back, and stay up. That's the only scenario now where I start buying now. Everything else, I'm looking for short selling opportunities. Okay? Can't wait to see what tomorrow brings on crude. I'm really excited to see what tomorrow's going to look like on crude oil. Just the way the market moved today, it pushed very strongly to the right, all the way up to that 79.40 area, 79.37 area. It broke this short-term channel, you can see, right? So we were watching this channel while we were trading this morning, right? We break that channel. You'll notice here they gave it 1 try, 2 tries, 3 tries here, finally got it to go. But we didn't finish the job, right? We didn't finish. The finished move would have been right back to that high again, right? That would have been that would have finished off these sellers. So this really leaves us wide open for really anything, right, tomorrow morning. I look at this and I see, okay, again, if I'm a buyer, if you want to be a buyer on crude, you've got some buy zones waiting for you here, 78.36, 77.94. But once I get back below this level right here, once I get back below this 77.63, yep, if we don't end up going higher, that's where we start getting aggressive once again to be a seller. All right? So I would rather for price to go a little bit higher this evening so I can get into that 79.44 resistance. Then look for those sells, right? If we don't go higher and we just go lower, this area right here is a complete question mark. right? That area right there is complete question mark. This could be nothing more than a slippery sideways range tomorrow. Okay, so be aware, we may be stuck inside of a range tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen, but right, that may be the case. What I'm looking for is a break below 77.63, and then just like I said before on gold and Russell, stay below 77.63, and we're selling short down to targets here that are waiting for me down at the bottom. 76.46, 75.84, right? Those are some easy targets we'll be looking for tomorrow. Guys, very, very difficult to predict what's going to happen tomorrow, right? This is a very sticky situation. Let's take a look here now. Well, and real quick, let me finish up on this one. If we go higher, we've got targets above. If we go lower, we've got targets below. Tomorrow morning, what I'll be doing is trying to pick up on what happened overnight and who's in control right now. Here's why. Here's why I'm concerned about what we got going on for tomorrow. First of all, looking at the news here for tomorrow, we don't have to go very far. We got news tonight. We got major news tonight out of Asia, and then we go into London tomorrow. We've got a big report out of the ECB tomorrow morning at 7:45 with the ECB announcement tomorrow morning, and then we got non-farm payrolls on Friday. I told you guys earlier this week, this is going to be a weird week. It's going to be an interesting week, right? We're just getting over daylight savings time over the weekend, right? That takes about 48 hours to work itself out of the markets. We had big election last night, reactionary environment today. Tomorrow is that slice between Friday's non-farm payrolls and yesterday's election. That's why I say everything is really up in the air right now. So what I can tell you is right now, follow that trend. Remember to give the benefit of the doubt to what you see on your charts. I know right now a lot of us are thinking about ways in which the election will be affecting us the rest of the week. I need you to forget about that now, right? You got your reaction today. You had your fun speculating today. Now it's time to get back to business tomorrow. Trade what you see, not what you think you know. Okay? So, talking about news for tomorrow. We know that we've got some major news for tonight. Looking at tonight's news here, we got 6:50. Zoom right in here for you. We got 6:50, 7:30, 8:30. A lot of Red Star news here tonight. Be ready for moves coming out of Asia. Looking at tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we got big news here tomorrow morning, starting out of Great Britain at 7 a.m. 7:45 a.m. is the big ECB announcement. That's just like our FOMC announcement here in the U.S. So don't forget, tomorrow morning, all eyes, all ears, all attention will be on the ECB. 7:45 tomorrow morning, we're going to hear the announcement. 8:15 tomorrow morning, they're going to have their press conference. The press conference needs to get underway before you're going to start seeing the big moves tomorrow off of that ECB announcement. So be ready for those big moves early in the U.S. session tomorrow, and you can thank Draghi and the crew, right, from the ECB for that one. We got jobless claims here at 8:30, productivity and costs at 8:30. Now, jobless claims will be a waste of time tomorrow. Jobless claims will be a waste of time tomorrow. Nobody will be watching the jobless claims because everybody heard the 230,000 number. We saw 230,000 in today's ADP employment report. That is likely to be what we see on Friday's non-farm payrolls. Okay, so now the market already has their finger on the pulse for Friday's news. They're not going to care about the jobless claims tomorrow. Okay, the sample size of tomorrow's jobless claims fall outside of what is being used for the employment situation. So nobody's going to care about it, right? Nobody will be watching it. We know all eyes and ears will be reacting to that ECB report tomorrow morning early. We do have news at 8:30. We'll be aware of it, but again, it's not going to be the big mover. We've got news out of Canada at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, the IV Purchasing Managers Index. Now, why do I talk about Canada? What's the biggest export from our friends to the north? Crude, baby, black gold. So we know that whenever we have CAD news, we got to be thinking crude oil futures, right? I think of CAD, I think crude. I also think about crude when I hear from news out of Australia, New Zealand, Russia, major oil producing nations, major exporters, right? Major consumers, major exporters of energy. So we know tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. we'll be watching closely for crude. We move for the rest of the day, and that's all we got to work with. So we start with tonight, major news tonight. We start with tomorrow morning in London. I've got 7 a.m., but again, all eyes and ears at 7:45 on the ECB announcement. We will breeze right through jobless claims most likely, and we get 10 o'clock news. So everything is weighted towards the top of the morning tomorrow morning. So be ready for the best price action early in the day tomorrow. Last but not least, tomorrow is the day before non-farm payrolls. Do not expect a lot tomorrow afternoon. Be prepared mentally for a slow afternoon, right? Throw in the fact that I'm sure people are ready to pass out, right, from all this price action. Literally the price action moved all day today. It barely took a break. So a lot of traders, I'm sure, are going to be welcoming the fact that tomorrow afternoon they're going to be taking a break. They're going to wait for non-farm payrolls to come out tomorrow, and they'll get back at it tomorrow morning. So early morning opportunities tomorrow. And again, I can't stress enough right now, don't trade what you think you know, trade what you see right now. And right now, we've got crude pushing higher in the short term, but we know that we've got that sell zone waiting for us overhead. I'm very, very curious to see how we react to this area right here. I could easily see this go in both directions. I really could. Between the election that we saw, right, and the technicals that we have in the chart, I could easily see the bulls and the bears getting into a nasty fight there at 79.50 area. I'll be looking for the short until I'm proven wrong. We've got consolidating ranges right now on gold, but we're still looking to sell the highs on gold. Stay patient on gold if it doesn't get up to those highs. Gold is one market that is going to pause ahead of non-farm payrolls on Friday. If there's one market that really struggles ahead of non-farm payrolls or FOMC, it's this funny yellow metal, okay, gold. So be careful. Looking to keep selling gold. And then on the Russell, I'll tell you right now, these buyers, if we start seeing these buyers take off here late in the evening tonight, overnight, keep an eye on that target overhead here, 1186.9. Something's coming, right? Bam, right? Something's coming. Something's coming here, and I just hope it gives us some good patterns to get into it, right, if it happens fast. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of my newsletter here tonight. It's been great to have you guys and gals. Don't forget to share this information with a friend, forward this email to a friend, forward this video over to a friend, download my charts, grab your free pass, register for your nightly newsletter, and don't forget, you can always head over here to SchoolOfTrade.com. We have one of the best free trials in the business. You'll learn more during my free trial than any other trial on the planet. We offer 3 levels of membership here at School of Trade, and I've always got someone standing by 24/7, 365 to give you guys any help that you may need. Want to thank you so much for being here. My name is Joseph. Thank you guys so much for voting. It was great to see such great, remarkable turnout at the polls. I'll tell you, the last few years, it's really been wonderful to see our democratic process come back together again. It's almost like everybody's excited to vote again, and that's exactly what makes, right, our country and every other country that does it amazing. So, guys, great job voting yesterday, right? Great job, as I always say, right, or as I always quote my good friend Mahatma Gandhi, right? Be the change in the world that you want to be, right? So be well, be happy, be careful tomorrow. Don't go trying to predict. Trade what you see, not what you know. And don't forget, we open up that trade room tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I will see you guys mañana. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.